I don't expect people to come to these live streams and stay the entire time. I just do it as I'm going to be here. If you have questions, come in. And it's fun when I'm on a ship and when the Wi-Fi works. And the Wi-Fi has been pretty good. It wasn't cheap. I think it was $25 a day. I booked it pre-cruise to save a bit of money, but it's been pretty good. Like, it's been better than almost any cruise I've been on recently. So that's good. Can we call Emma? Yes, I do all the time. I'm like, oh, my American version. His name's Dan. He's from Texas. Yes. Rich and Helen are in here. Hello, nice to see you. Rupert the Drone says, would you ever steer a ship if you were given the opportunity? Probably. Hopefully, I would be in the middle of the sea and I couldn't do too much damage if I messed it up. And as long as everyone else was there. Yes. Peter says, how do you compare the food on Royal and Celebrity? Tricky. There's definitely a lot more choice on here. This is a much bigger ship than the Celebrity Edge I was on recently. I think if you're someone who is a foodie, who understands food, people say the Celebrity food is better than the Royal food. The Celebrity buffet is better. I will say that. I think that's true because the Celebrity buffet is amazing, but I've not had a bad, actually that's a lie. I had one bad, well, I think bad is a strong word. Had one thing that I would say isn't great on here, and that's a Yorkshire pudding. But we're on an American cruise line, so I just had to try the Yorkshire pudding to see if they would do it. But yeah, the food's been very, very good. I can't fault anything. There's cookies everywhere. And there's just so much choice. I think there is 9 included restaurants on here. Not all open at the same time, but there's a oh my goodness, I don't know where to begin to list it. There's a buffet. Of course, there's a buffet. There's main dining rooms. I think there's 3 or 4 main dining rooms on here. There is pizza all the time, I think. There's a cafe in the main street. There's a cafe in the park that does like sandwiches and salads and stuff. There is a Mexican place by the pool where you can get like tacos and stuff. Yeah, there's loads. There's more than that even. Can we contact Dan if we live in Canada? Yes. So Dan, who's from the US, he can book cruises for people who are from the US and Canada. And often he does other places too, if he can. And Emma and my team in the UK, we can book pretty much all of Europe now. Pretty much all of Europe. It does depend on the cruise lines, but yes. Is there such a thing as a bad Yorkshire pudding? Well, yes. Well, it wasn't bad. It was just not. I think using the word Yorkshire pudding it wasn't that. Would you say the ship is too big or overwhelming for first-time cruisers? That's a really good question. It depends on who you are. If you're someone who, say you really wanted to impress your friends, or you have some teenagers in your family or something, and you want to blow their mind with a cruise ship, consider their mind blown. If there was like a big group of you, 6 of you or something, and you came on here, everyone can have their completely different cruise, which is quite interesting. You know, I'll get home and I'll see people who were on this cruise and I never saw them. They did things I didn't do the same. But if you were someone who, you know, you have no idea about cruising, oh, we have an announcement, but it's not in the room, so hopefully you can hear me and not like on the Celebrity ship again. If you were just like a couple or something and you wanted to see what it was like on a cruise ship, this isn't necessarily what most cruise ships are like. You know, if you came on here and you thought that's too much, well, it is the 2nd biggest cruise ship in the world, so there's hundreds and hundreds that are smaller. Yeah, Matt says, remember, shorter questions have a better chance of Emma answering. Yeah, of course they do. I saw that one straight away because it's very short and I have to read them before I put them on the screen because sometimes people write weird things that I can't. Where does this cruise go? No, so we started in Barcelona. We're in Naples. We've done Civitavecchia. That's not how we say it, but we've done that one. Another announcement. No, not another announcement. We don't need another one. The one on Celebrity Edge went on for ages. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so we've been to La Spezia. That's my favorite one on this itinerary. Parma was the first place. It is kind of the classic Mediterranean loop. It is almost identical to the cruise I did on Celebrity Edge. And on Celebrity Edge, it was not as hot as this at all. It was nowhere near as hot. So I did a lot more outside than I am on this cruise. I've seen this a lot. People say, is the main dining room food good? It was bad when I was on in March. There is nothing that I could fault about any course I've had. And I don't know if things have changed or I wonder what is going on there. Because I cannot fault a single thing. Maybe I just have different tastes. I don't know. There's a lot of choice on the menus. Like, I don't know what more I could want from a main dining room menu. Keith says, is Royal Caribbean a good line for a senior but still mobile cruiser? Yes, maybe a ship like this would be a bit overwhelming because it is huge. If you want to go from one end to the other, even if you're still mobile, it's quite a long distance. But it's more what you're into. Do you like, they have big theatre shows on here. We saw Hairspray, which was amazing. We've seen aqua shows where they do diving and they have drones in the ice skating show. And if you're someone who wants to be entertained, then yes, of course. Can't hear the announcements, so it's all good. Oh, good, says Anna. Darren says it's because they've updated the menu. Oh, did they update the menu? I know they used to have like a separate vegan menu and now it's all just in the main dining room. But yeah, no, it's all good. It is all good. I will say I have gone this time for the fixed dining. Last time I cruised on Anthem of the Seas, I had my time dining and I could never get a table before about 8 p.m. And if you know me, I eat sort of 5 or 6. So I did do early dining this time and that has suited me much better, much, much better. Justin says, is the discount code bottles because you've been drinking too much or does it have to do with the shirt? So what I normally do on these live streams is I'm wearing a t-shirt or something and I do a discount on it for 24 hours. I thought this time, because it is too hot to even wear a t-shirt, to be honest, and this has been the most prized possession that I've had on this cruise. So I thought we would do the discount on the bottles today. So it's not just this one, it is all the designs. And the link is in the pinned thing and the description. And the code is bottles. And it's 24 hours only. So there you go. But this is good because this keeps it cold. I do really need that. Really, really need that. Jamie says, what is your step count so far today? Bet it's tons. I bet it isn't because I haven't done very much today. Let's have a look. I think it's maybe like 7,000 or something. Yeah. Okay. That's not too bad. But I haven't been awake for very long. Yeah, Coke or Pepsi. It is a Coke ship, but I will say it is a Coke ship. But what they give you is this cup. You don't have to use this cup, but you can use these in the drinks machines, and it's the Coke machines, and it tastes like the Coke that you get in McDonald's, which I think is much better than normal Coke. And it has like lemonade in it, it has Fanta in it, it has Dr. Pepper in it, and every single one you can add in like lemon or raspberry. So you just mix everything together and you just make a weird drink, and it's really, really nice. So it's like if you're from the UK, it's like going to Harvester, but like always unlimited drinks in Harvester. What time is it? 6:30-ish. 6:30. How many toothpaste tubes is a shower? Well, I've kind of stopped measuring things with toothpaste tubes just because that's not very consistent. And some toothpastes are much bigger than others. But what I do now is I use this little guy. So when you see my cabin tour, you will see this guy in the shower every single time because he's always the same size. So we could see. Rachel says, your hair has gotten so long now. Thank you. I'm thinking about the word gotten because I think, is that a Britishism that we use, gotten? Don't know. Maybe. I think it might be. But yeah, I can just about, there's like 9 hair clips in this hair, just about tie my hair up, which is good because it is so hot, so hot. Jonah says, can I use the book a cruise service on your website if you live in mainland Europe? Yes, just fill in the, tick the box that says UK and Europe. There's some cruise lines that will only let us sell certain things to certain countries, but yes. Emma says, only one Captain Hudson with you on this cruise. Yes, one Captain Hudson. Otherwise, where do I end? I'm going to end up with so many. So many. Can you keep the cup? Yes, you can. I think I'm going to give this one to my Patreons or channel members because I already have some of these and they're great, but I don't need any more cups. So if you like this cup, that's how you can get it. Stephen says, when will you get a camera guy? No more camera sticks. Never, ever. I never want a camera guy. You stick someone else with the camera in front of me and I cannot say a single sentence and people would look at me and that is terrible. And I do not want that. I do have my camera stick. I have it here, actually. I can show you. Here it is. So this is what I use a lot of the time. It is an Insta360 camera on a stick and it edits itself out. Interesting, interesting. Would you book an inside balcony again on a future cruise? Yes, if the price was right. I mean, if this was the same price as a normal balcony, then I'd pick the normal balcony. But this was not much more than an inside. I think it was maybe 200, maybe 250 pounds more. But this wasn't a cheap cruise anyway, because this is a very, very big cruise ship. But in my full video, I'll talk about how much I paid for everything and what the different cabins were, because I remembered this time to keep a note of it. Dave and Bill say, which app do you use for your live streams? This is StreamYard. This is StreamYard. I wish really YouTube would just let me put the questions on the screen. That would save me £10 a month for 6 years, but they don't. Yeah, there's something about gotten or something. It's the same way as, you know, we would say, oh, sitting somewhere instead of sat. Like there's something like that for sure. Is that on your website, which equipment you use? Yes, I think if you go on my website, if you type in blogging, then I have all of the different stuff in there. Yes. Annie says you should hide Hudson. I don't want to, because he is mine. I don't want to hide him. I would lose him. And you can't just buy him again. Once the sale is done, then he's not available anymore. Chris says, brilliant live stream as always. Thank you so much. Tallinn wasn't a washout. Oh my goodness. Tallinn it's beautiful, but I saw it through just rain dripping through my eyes. Adam says, live stream has been working great, but seems the internet was better on Celebrity. I have at least 4 or 5 times the speed on this ship than I had on Celebrity. So that's interesting. Dave and Bill say £10 a month just for the questions on the screen. Just wow. Yeah, I have hundreds of pounds worth of subscriptions for my website and YouTube and stuff that I use every month. Just because the little things like that. I can't put the questions on the screen or any banners or anything or my name or anything on directly on YouTube. So I've been using it. Yeah. Thank you so much to the moderators who look after these chats and ban the strange people who are in there. I really, really appreciate it. Did you bump into Chris? Yes, I did. If you rewind this chat, I talked a bit more about that, but I did, and you will see him in my video when it comes out. Was there a wow factor when you walked onto Symphony? There was a wow factor way before I walked onto Symphony. When I first saw it on the bus, I was like, oh my goodness, because she was next to, I can't remember what the ship was. It was Silver Sea, it was Seabourn, it was something. It was one of those ships that has like less than 1,000 guests on it, and then there's Symphony of the Seas, and you come around the corner and the back is all open and the cabins are there and the slides are there. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh well, we'll try our best with the internet. Did time with JJ Cruise? Of course I did. Yes, so JJ Cruise came to England, which was very, very nice. I did. They've done a lot of ships like this, so they were psyching me up for it, which this ship is just, my goodness. Emma says, are there many kids on board? I'm sure there are probably like 1,000 children on this cruise, but they're actually not in my way ever, really, because there are full areas of this ship that are the kids zones. There's kids slides, there's kids splash parks, there's kids clubs for kids of all ages. So I just think I don't see them. If I was someone who was, in the kids clubs for some reason, I just saw a lady outside. This is the thing about this cabin, is there are cabins opposite mine and people come out in their bikinis and I always think they're but yes, very strange. There's another announcement. I'm not sure if you can hear it. But yeah, I would say there's not too many kids. I've been on ships that are way smaller that felt like there were a lot more kids. I think they're just not where I am. But there's definitely a lot of kids on here. It's definitely a family cruise line, definitely. Thanks so much for your questions, my goodness. Yeah, I try to, it's hard to answer the questions without just repeating for the people who've already been here. I don't want to answer the questions that I've already answered. So maybe if I'm not answering them, rewind. Tom says, can you suggest resources for Americans booking Norway cruises? Seems like limited choices. I think there's so many choices if you want to do a Norway cruise, which is, I think, my favorite place to cruise in the entire world. But if you fill in my website, if you go on the book a cruise thing, fill it in, we can let you know all of the options. But there's tons. There are loads. Suggestive Britishism, being a nosy Parker. Yeah, that sums up this cruise. I am being a nosy Parker for sure. Yeah, no, it's really interesting. If you're someone who likes to people watch, it is fantastic. But you just have to remember, because it depends on the light. But if the light is the right way and it's not reflecting, people can see to the bathroom all the way through. So when you come out of the bathroom, like after a shower, you need to remember someone could see you. But people watching it is fantastic. And you sort of get to know everyone. You don't talk, but I know who's with who and who talks to who, which is really cool. Doing this cruise soon, what excursions have you booked? I haven't booked any, so that's very, very easy. Every place we've been to is very easy to walk off by yourself. I don't think there's any one where you have to do an excursion particularly. Which symphony street style do you like better, Cilia Symphony or this one? So Cilia Symphony is a ferry. She's a ferry. She has a car deck, but she was the cruise ship that inspired this central street area on Royal Caribbean. I have a video about it. It's maybe a year or so ago that I made that video, so check that out if you haven't already seen it. But that one it's very different. I had a cabin there that looked into the street, but it was just a window, and it's a ferry. So this is like 30 years later. This is what cruise ships are like now. It's crazy. Michael says, have you tried the Flow Rider? Yes, I have tried the Flow Rider, but not on here. I tried it on Independence of the Seas and it was fine, but I feel no need to do it again. It's very scary. And I did it on Independence of the Seas because it was very cold. We were cruising in October. We were Northern Europe, so no one was there to look at me. And here, there's 2 Flow Riders and they're open quite a lot. And some people are very, very good. And I'm I managed to get to my knees, which was pretty good. I was pretty impressed. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't avoid a cruise like this because of the kids. I think the busiest cruise ships I've been on for kids have been MSC and Costa. Carnival, I don't remember seeing barely any kids on my Carnival cruise. And Royal Caribbean, the first one I took on Independence, there were quite a lot of kids. That was in school holidays. Then I did Anthem, and there weren't really many kids on there, I don't think. And then this one, I don't think it's school holidays yet, but it's getting pretty close to the summer holidays. But they're not annoying at all. Like the adults, way more annoying than the kids. There's some annoying adults on here. I will explain more. Do people cruise by themselves? Would it be safe or always with families? Yes, the solo cruise market, I think, is the fastest growing market within cruise. Some cruise lines do it a lot better than others. Some have sort of solo specific cabins, solo lounges, where everyone who's in that lounge is a solo cruiser. So if you do want to meet other people, you already know that they're, up for meeting people when they're cruising solo. Most cruise lines will do solo meetups. Sometimes they'll be hosted by the crew. Sometimes they'll just be like the people in this room, which is a bit, I prefer the hosted things because it's a bit weird. How do you know who is just there by mistake in the room? But yeah, I think it's the safest way to travel because it's like being looked after all the time. And you can do kind of as much or as little as you want. So yes, solo cruising is a big thing. Yes. Yeah, Justin's in the chat. He always cruises solo. He loves it. Lots of people do. Yep, solo and love it. Yeah, loads of people in here. Good. I'm glad to see it. Solo cruiser here. Loads. Thinking of taking a cruise to Norway in winter. Any recommendations? So there aren't many cruises that go to Norway in winter. There's only really 2 cruise lines that cruise there year round, and that's Havila and Hurtigruten. They're expedition cruise lines. They're cruises, but not really cruises in the mainstream traditional way. I did a winter cruise with Fred Olsen, but they only do a couple of itineraries a year. If you want to go in autumn, P&O do some, and Princess, I think, do the odd itinerary. So if you want sort of a mainstream cruise line, they would be the ones I would recommend. It's on the oldest P&O ship, I think, next year, but pretty good. Oh, Justin has his first non-solo cruise. Oh, very exciting. If you could, would you bring Hudson with you on a cruise? No, absolutely not. Taking him to the vet, which is maybe a 10-minute drive, breaks my heart when I have to put him in that box and he makes the sad noise. I couldn't imagine taking him hours in the car to the port and then on a cruise. Like, he would hate it. He would hate everything about this. There's no way he'd go to the park, I guess, but he would not like this. Have you been on Viking? I have. 5 years ago I was on Viking. Came up on my time hop earlier, just for 4 days. Yeah, yeah, exactly. P&O, yeah, P&O do some in Norway, but most cruise lines sort of move their ships for summer to Norway, and then when it gets to winter, they move them to places that are more desirable. Of course, they make money. How does the ship get Wi-Fi? And for so many, you'd have to ask the technical team on board. I don't know. Yeah. Have you been recognized much on this cruise? Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. Always the most random times when I'm not expecting it, and I've sort of just got back in and I'm covered in sweat because it's so hot, and I've collapsed into a corner, and then people talk to me. But yeah, everyone's been super nice on this cruise. I've met people from all over the world, so that's nice. It's nice to sort of hear. Some people will say, "Oh, we're from Tunisia, so this isn't hot for us." I'm like, "Oh my goodness." There's another announcement going on. Don't know if you can hear that one, but it's not in my cabin, so I'm going to carry on talking. Emily says, is it worth it to cruise on a newer ship? It depends what you want from a ship. If you want a really wow, exciting cruise ship, then if you want one this big, it's only the newest cruise ships that do it. For most people, no. It's the difference between a 10-year-old cruise ship and a new one is not that different, apart from when it comes to these big ships, these really, really big ships. Yeah, exactly. If I had my cat in the car, she knew she was going to the vet. Exactly, yes. Yeah, Lucy's mum says, always solo, as Lucy, pictured on the profile, doesn't count. There's Lucy. Well, that's the same as me and Hudson, really, but Hudson always comes with me. I've never done an expedition cruise. No, not an expedition cruise yet. I would like to. They're really expensive, though. Really, really expensive. Adam says, is there a cruise company you would recommend for a 4-year-old? If you go on my website, I have a download that has all the main cruise lines and it compares them in every single way, because every 4-year-old is very, very different. Every family is very different. I can't just say this is the one for you, because it could be terribly wrong or terribly right. But yeah, if you download the free guide, that should give you an overview of which cruise lines you think absolutely not or yes. And then if you fill in the book of cruise, then we can give you some ideas if you want more personalized ones. Paul, yes, I have done the slide. I have done the Ultimate Abyss, as it is called. I think it's a 10-story slide, and it was all right. It was dark and it was loud in there. Did you get the specialty dining package this cruise, or just enjoy the main dining room? So I haven't got a specialty dining package, but also I'm not just enjoying. Oh, my phone is ringing. I'm not going to answer it. Oh, hang on. I'm back. Hopefully whoever it is doesn't just show up at my door because I'm live. But yes, I'm also not just enjoying the main dining room, because there are so many places that you can eat. I think there's 9 included restaurants. There is so much going on. There's like a phone call. There's an announcement. I can see other people outside. This is a lot. I will phone them back. Is the Wi-Fi worth it, and what wall plugs are used in the rooms? So the Wi-Fi has been pretty good. It's not cheap. If I wasn't running a business from the ship, I wouldn't do it, because I have 4G most of the time when we're in port. But I'm working while I'm here, so I need it, and it has been pretty good. There are 3 US sockets here on the desk, 1 European, 2 USBs, and there is 1 US by my side of the bed, nothing on the other side. Hello, would you be interested in saving 30% on car insurance with Geico? That's very American. We don't have the Geico insurance lizard thing, but I know what that is. Don't they know you have a live stream? Anyone who knows you would know you're busy. I know. Watch the captain show. I hope not. I'm not answering the door. I would just stay here. I should have probably just muted the thing and answered the phone, but on cruise ships, do you have to get your picture taken before boarding? No, I never do. I always walk past and say, no, thanks. It's fine. You don't have to. If having natural light is important, isn't ocean view okay? Or should I pay more for a balcony? It depends, because sometimes you'll have a smaller ocean view that's sort of this size, and sometimes you'll have a big picture window. So it depends what type of one you're booking. Obviously, the window area is bigger on a balcony. It's full length, but that's it. Michael says, have you tried the pizza? That was the first thing I tried when I got on board. We had kind of a bit of a stressful journey at the beginning. My flight was changed last minute, so we changed terminal, and then the car parking was wrong, and then we got on the plane and they said a runway had been shut down at Barcelona, so we sat on the runway for like an hour, and then it just, everything that could slightly go wrong sort of did. It was fine. We made it. Matt says, how did you pack that huge ring light? I didn't. It's the room. But yeah, it meant we were later getting on board than we were supposed to, so the buffet was closed, and pizza was the go-to. It was good. I've had late night pizza quite often on this cruise. What's in the theater area? Just shows or movies? I think only shows are in there. They play movies at the Aqua Theater at the back, so the main theater is inside. Oh, Jamie says, oh, for the ID purposes. Oh, yeah, you have to have an ID photo done. I thought you meant where they make you stand with the big wheel and the picture. You can skip those ones, but you have to have a security photo, yes. Although on this cruise, I took those at home before I got here. I did the same on Celebrity. If the cruise line uses a good app, then you can do that. No problem. What do you bring in your tech kit? Adapters, power plugs, etc. I have adapters. I have my phone power bank. I have my cameras and things to get the footage off my cameras. But that's about it. Not too much. Have you ever done a Canada cruise? Yeah, I took a Carnival cruise from New York to Canada recently, which was pretty cool. Pretty cool. They do talks and game shows in the theater. I haven't seen any talks in the theater this time, but I haven't been back to the theater since that first day because there's just been so many other things on the schedule. Yeah, it was. Hope you didn't bake on the plane. No, it was okay. It was okay. Did Captain Hudson already go down the zip line? Would like to see that video. I don't think they would let him do that because he probably does not meet the height or the weight requirements. But yeah, outside my room, people zip line across the top. I'm not going to do it. That is a step too far. I've done the slides. I don't want to do the zip line, so I'm not doing it. But I've seen plenty of other people do it, and they seem to like it. So yes. Yeah, Jonathan says, I have a go-to security photo on my phone. It meets all the requirements for every use, so I reuse it. I should do that, really. I always take them at home, trying to stand in front of a white wall and have a normalish expression on. But that's a good idea. That is a good idea. Thank you so much. If I have missed your comment, please don't think that I've seen it and that I'm ignoring it. My comments just go and then they jump all the way down to the bottom. Yeah, so I think I've got there and I haven't. What is the longest cruise you've taken? 14 nights. Yeah, 14 nights. 2 weeks is the longest cruise I've done. And yeah, that's it. That is it. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, which is pretty good. Do you feel the land wobble when you're back on land? No, I don't. I think I used to a little bit, but probably I'm quite used to it now. Yeah, no, I'm not doing the zip line. No. Did the hot weather impact port excursion crowds? I think a lot of people have stayed on during this cruise. I've stayed on quite a lot during this cruise. It's hot. It's very, very hot. Do the zipliners scream or hoop and holler as they go by? Yeah, sometimes they do. Yeah, it's interesting because they had a silent disco out here recently, and you would think silent disco would be silent, but all it meant was that everyone would be singing and you couldn't hear the music. So I was in bed. I went to bed at about 11. I think it went on until midnight, and you could hear every word of Justin Bieber or Gangnam Style or something. Yeah. Is the buffet open all day? It's not open all day, but it's open pretty much all the time. I think it closes at 9:30 in the evening, which is kind of earlier than some cruise lines, but also they have cafes in the central bit and they have the pizza and stuff. So I'm pretty sure you can get food 24 hours a day. I can't imagine that there's any time when there's not food on this ship. Yeah, I don't know. Jonathan says, how much dollar to get you on the zip line? If you paid off my mortgage, then I would consider it. But that is literally it. I've never cruised on Australia. I would love to. It's just very, very far away. I'm sure I will do it at some point. I'm sure I will. So I'm going to be making 2 videos for this cruise, I think. I'm going to do my normal sort of story video. Normally they're 20, 25 minutes long. I don't know how long this is going to be because it is like 7 different cruise ships to start together. And there's so much that I want to show you. So we will see how long that is. I'm going to try keep it under half an hour. It becomes a documentary, but also I'm going to make a separate video about this cabin. So maybe that'll help me make the other one a little less. But even just in terms of entertainment, there is so much to do, so much to do. How is the karaoke? I haven't done karaoke, but there seems to be different karaokes. There's like adult karaoke, teenager karaoke. There's so many different lounges and trivias. I've done trivia. Yes. I don't mind long videos. Thank you very much. But yeah. Would you do a world cruise that's 200 plus days? No, I wouldn't. I would miss my friends. I would miss my family. I would miss my cat. I would miss my bath at home. I would miss tea and toast. Like, yeah. Jackie's talking about military discounts. If you want to know anything about that, sort of Dan is the man, the US version of Emma. So just fill in the form on my website. Paul says, have you arranged for the captain to close your talk today? I haven't. I have not. Is this cabin as controversial as the infinite balcony? It feels a bit weird. Yeah, I think so. It feels a lot more like a traditional balcony, but the fact that, I don't know if I can show you or if you'll be able to see. You see? Those people are there. You can't see any. There's no people there at the minute. But they are right there, if they are there. So yeah, I think so. My mom says, you have a sea day tomorrow. Will you be working or eating or both? Well, I need to eat to work, but also I need to work to live. So yeah, I will be doing both. I have already done, well, I haven't recorded it, but I have mostly scripted and done everything for this cabin review. I've got everything organized for the other one. So yes. What nationalities do you think are on board? Mostly Europeans. Well, there's a lot of languages that I hear spoken, but almost everything, the default language is English. They will sometimes do announcements also in Spanish, but things like the theater shows and the music and stuff is mostly in English. So yeah, we started in Barcelona. I think there's quite a lot of people who got on there. Some people seem to have got on board again. I don't know that everyone did the full cruise. Some people started sort of halfway around. So I think there's quite a lot of Italians, Spanish. There's some Americans. There's quite a lot of Brits, I think, on here. People from all over. I think it's really good. This is my sort of ideal mix of people, just because it's nice to have a mix, I think. Oh, new to your channel. Just booked my first cruise today. Well, it only takes 1 cruise to get addicted, and I'm not being held responsible for any of that, but I'm very, very happy for you. Very, very happy. Yeah, people can board in Rome. Yeah. More languages feels like vacation. Yeah, same for me. Same. But it is nice that mostly everything is in English. Like I have taken a lot of MSC cruises, Costa cruises, where the announcements are in 8 languages, and that sort of does just take time. Whereas things just being in English, that makes things faster, you know. Are you doing any more Edge videos? Yes, my video about my cabin, my infinite veranda cabin, very, very controversial, but I've been organizing that while I'm on board. I think I have most of it sorted, so that should be out soon. Do they do a sail away party? Yeah, they don't do a sail away party every single day, but the first day there was a big sail away party by the pool. There are so many pools on here, and to walk from one end to the other takes ages. In a good way, though. I really enjoy it. I've got in a lot of steps. Oh, Emma says, just bought some Robinson squash minis for our next cruise to copy you. Oh, thank you so much. I actually didn't remember to bring any on this cruise, but because I have the soda package, it doesn't really matter. So I normally have this one, and then I have this one, and that is plenty to drink. The discount is bottles. I wasn't very clever with that, but that's 10% off this and all the bottles. This one I think is very true. All designed by me, of course. Is the solarium pool busy? There isn't a pool in the solarium, as far as I know. So Don't know how to answer that one. Have you visited the gym or the spa? No, I have not. They're described as their own separate neighborhood. So I'm missing a full neighborhood, but no, I have not. Oh, Kirk says, our friends Scott and Kelly met you on your German biking cruise. Love the video. Thank you so much. That was such a fun video and they were fantastic. I've kept in contact with a lot of people from the cycling cruises that I've done because that's very different. You know, I cruised on a barge with maximum 22 passengers versus this is 6,600. So it's different. How many pools are there? I don't know how many pools there are. To be honest, I don't know because they're everywhere. I will do my research before my video, but yeah, some of them, you know, are more for kids, some of them less for kids, but I haven't been in any. I don't think they're that busy because it is so hot. I can't really stand more than about 15 minutes outside in this one. Corey says, which cruise line has the best soda and drinks package? Royal Caribbean has the best soda package for me because it is quite cheap. I think it was $13 a day I paid. And not only do you get it in the bars, but also you can fill up your own drinks. So if it's busy, you don't even have to queue up at a bar and you can be out and you can fill this up and you can take it back to your room. And then it's just nice. It is good. It is very good. And you can make all kinds of weird drinks in it. It is nice. Going to buy that bottle. Awesome. Yeah, the discount is for the next 24 hours only. So do it now. Yeah, James said, worked on a cruise line during a heat wave. It was not a great time. Well, inside the ship, it is totally fine. The air conditioning is pretty good. It is pretty good. But outside, it's just very, very hot. I will say there is a promenade deck on here and you can go all the way around. It is one of those promenade decks where you mostly look at the lifeboats. It's not a clear view, but it's quite nice if you just want to get in, you know. I've done I'll do 3 laps. That's I can't remember how far it is, but it's quite a long way. So it's quite easy to get steps in there. Anna says, do you still get lost on big cruise ships? I think I have learned my way around this ship. And I think because the fact it has a huge park in the middle, it's easier for me to think about. So I can think, oh yeah, that's in front of the park. That's behind the park. That's the back. That's the central street. It feels like every area is very different. So I find it easier to find my way around. Still, I say the most confusing cruise ship I've ever been on is Queen Mary 2 for the layout. And that's not a very big ship. Not a very big ship at all. Yeah, midships. Corey says, most Carnival ships have a self-serve Pepsi fountain. Scan your room key to get access to your drinks plan. See, I would love that. I've never been on a Carnival ship that has that. When I was on Carnival, it was still, I had the soda package, but I still had to sign for every drink, which I find that kind of annoying when it's just you're giving me a can. Just give me the can, I'll get it myself. But on here, I like the machines, and I haven't had to sign for anything on here. How do you find the stats on how many people are on board? Love hearing those. Normally I go to reception and I ask. There's not really any other way. If sometimes the captain will say in his announcements, or it might say in the daily schedule. And if it does, then I don't need to go to reception. But if not, I just sort of wait until there's no one at reception. And I say, excuse me, just wondering how many people are on here. And then they can tell you. They can always tell you. It is nearly our hour. The time flies for these live streams. If you have any sort of quick questions and you want to drop them in the chat, now is a good time to do it. I use all of the questions and the comments on all of my posts to make my videos. So whenever I see a good question, I try and answer it. Obviously, some things take 20 minutes to answer rather than just a little Facebook comment, so I can't always. But I take note of them and put them all together. And then when I'm scripting my video, I'm making sure I've ticked off everything. So even if I don't get the chance to reply to a tweet or something, it is going in here and it will come out in the video. So please keep them coming. Please keep them coming. Oh, the code is showing as bottle without the S. Yes, that is right. Bottle. My bad. I tried to be simple and maybe I made it too simple. I don't know. What is your favorite destination you went on a cruise? It is a cruise I took from Singapore to Tokyo. That's the best cruise I've taken, no question. But apart from that, I think my favorite area to do is probably a Norway cruise. I think it's beautiful. Quick, cue the captain's announcement. Yes. I haven't had any announcements into my cabin this cruise. But to be fair, I hadn't on Edge either. That was the first time. Can you explain the average alcohol package on board, the average cost? So the drinks packages go from the soda package, which on board I think is $19 a day. It costs $13 a day to pre-book. And the highest one is $120 per person per day. For me, if I had to drink $120 worth of drink per day, it would be a disaster. I couldn't do it, but some people save money by doing that. So yeah, but whatever you do, if you want a drinks package, do your research and buy it before. It's never cheaper on board, never cheaper on board. NCL or Royal, it depends who I'm with, what I want to do. They're very different experiences. I like them both. I think in some ways they're very comparable, but in some ways they're very, very different. Yeah. There's certain things, you know, I'm like, oh, on here, the buffet is so much better than on Prima, because on Prima it was tiny. But Prima had the indulged food hall, and the promenade deck was so much better on Prima. But this one has, and you can just go on forever. Like, it feels like they're the same, but they're all just, so it's just this, but that, but this, but that, but this, but that, forever. And different ones suit different people. So yeah. Are there any lines that have particularly good pricing for a third passenger in the cabin? Oh, interesting. Most of them do have some sort of discount. The one that comes to my mind where I see the offers most often is Princess. Quite often I'll see third person £99 on Princess, or P&O, something like that. Jamie says, how much cheaper is this cruise versus the Celebrity one? Not much. If anything, it might be the same price, because this is such a new and exciting cruise ship. I mean, it's 5 years old now, but still, it's a big and exciting cruise ship. And also this is further into summer, so it's closer to school holidays. Yeah, I will let you know in the video, because I have a lot of these prices in my head. I can't keep all the prices in there as much as I try. How much do drinks cost without a package? A soda is, once you've added on the gratuities, once you added on the taxes, it's around $5. So if you're going to do 3 sodas a day, you make your money back. Alcohol, cocktail, maybe $12, something like that. Yeah, MSC are pretty good for it too. Yes, yes, yes. Agreed. Yeah, Indulge Food Hall made Prima awesome. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Oh, it's very, very good. So thank you so much to everyone who watched my Prima food video. I made some special videos for Norwegian on that cruise, which was amazing. I've never been hired to do that for a cruise line before. And all of the comments are like, Emma sent me here, Emma sent me here. And I still go in there and I try and make sure I reply to everything. But it really, really makes a difference. I really, really appreciate it. It was so cool to go on that cruise. And it worked, because I think I'm going to be doing another Norwegian trip soon. So that's very cool. Maybe on Viva, I don't know. Maybe. Looks like you're enjoying this one. Yeah, Stephen says $19 to $120 a day. Yes. Yeah, literally that is what it is. Yeah. Yeah, I think they're solo friendly. They're not as solo friendly as cruise lines like Norwegian. They don't have like a solo lounge or anything like that. And I think the solo meetups here are unhosted. But yeah. Sure, you need a rest after these live streams. I don't know. I get quite up after these live streams, and I want to write down things that I'm trying to remember everything. So I'm like, oh, that person asked this. I need to put that in the video. Oh, I haven't put this bit in there yet. And I'm, you know, my dad says, are you going on the zip line tomorrow? It looks easy. No, I'm not. I don't want to. No is a complete sentence. No. The end. Dad, you wouldn't do it either, I don't think. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it is the end of this live stream. That hour has gone so fast. We made it without, I don't think, any internet disasters. We made it without a captain joining us. I made it without seeing anything weird out there. I think I just saw a ping pong ball fall down though, because they do have ping pong up the top and they have mini golf up there. So I'm pretty sure I just saw that, but that's okay. So I will bring you a full video about this cabin. I will bring you a full video about the entire cruise. It is going to be, I always think my next video is the best video ever, but I think this is going to be the best video ever. It is so cool. It is so cool. Awesome. So thank you so much, everybody, for your questions and your comments. I appreciate it. And I will see you next week at the same time. Goodbye, everyone.